Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this year's encounter of the Sir Archibald Perera Trophy 2016. The St. Peter's vs. St. Thomas College match is about to start, and you can see the two teams lining up for the college songs.
Once again, very good evening to all the fans. We'd like to welcome the Rugby, welcome you to the big grounds at Mount Rugby for the important enrolling encounter for the Archibald Perera Challenge Trophy, the traditional encounter. St. Peter's Sunil Afonso, for St. Thomas is Nirosala Emmanuel. St. Peter's led by Sandesh Jayavikrama. They have point to be proven. St. Peter's have won all 4 games played this evening so far. Despite being a very formidable outfit on paper, they are certainly with a rich tradition to support them coming into this game. With a very strong season, despite the right not showing their favor, proving occasion. The Dons on home ground are unbeaten thus far, led by Pandula de Silva. That is want to beat and retain the Archibald Perera Challenge Trophy. College anthems will be played, so this gentleman cordially invite you to rise. We invite everybody to pay attention, and this is the college anthem of St. Peter's, Bangladesh. Thank you very much. Also for the home team, they want to remain unbeaten. They've been beaten in the 4 games that have been played so far. If you repeat for the under 14 game, it's won 35-7. The under 14 game, 19-14.
Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. We see the two teams have gone on with their college songs and they're about to start the match. This is Renal Vikram Ratna with my
Anish De Silva.
and we will be bringing you the live stream of the St. Thomas's versus St. Peter's Rugby Encounter 2016.
This game is being played for the Archibald Perera Challenge Trophy, which currently resides with St.Peter's College after they won it last year. The Thomians, however, are unbeaten and will be looking to continue this streak going into the final 2 games of the league.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, there. But small correction, as the Thomians were the ones to win the Archibald Trophy last year. And this year we'll be looking to defend it and continue on the undefeated streak. As we see, the match has got underway with the Peterites having control of the ball. It's getting intense over there in the middle. And Peter is going for the rolling maul. A move that Royal College did very successfully against the Thomians. And St. Peter is looking to break through. It's been a very interesting start to the game. It has only been the first few minutes of play and St. Peter's are looking good. St. Peter's working the line, going towards the edges. And a hard tackle by the Thomians there. The Thomians not letting them get through, putting on the pressure. It's going to be a tough game for both the schools. St. Thomas's in it to defend the shield, in it to retain their streak, and St. Peter's here looking to make a statement. And a bold statement at that as St. Peter's look to have got a break. They're charging on for it. Brought down here by the Thomians.
It's a line out for St. Peter's College. The hooker, Yapa, to take the throw. Collected well.
And St. Peter's going for the rolling maul once again. Stopped by the referee. So it seems like there would be a scrum to St. Thomas's College. St. Thomas's College have made a few changes. There would be the usual number 3 Desha Priya playing as number 1 and Perera playing as the number 3 with the captain as the hooker as always. The second row would be Wayne Mack and H.A. Senanayaka with S.K. Ahangama going in for the flanker along with C.J. Delil. S.K. Ahangama, as we saw last time against the Anthony's match, a really good couple of ball runs and some brilliant offloads, given much praise by most commentators. Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. We do apologize for any of the inconvenience caused as a result of us not being able to show the live stream. There was actually a spot of rain and we had some technical difficulties there. However, we're up and running once again. And just to give you an update onto the current status of the match, St. Thomas's scored 2 tries, one in the 12th minute by Ferdinando and one in the 17th minute by Mayan Jayawardena. And just a couple of minutes ago, St. Peter's countered that by scoring a try, and they had a penalty that they had received earlier, which they converted. And so the score stands as it is, 12-10 with St. Thomas's College in the lead. We're definitely bound for interesting days of play. The rains have stopped, the clouds have moved on. It seems to be some sunny skies. St. Thomas is definitely looking to make a statement here. They've already got 2 tries, and the Peterite making a break. The number 17, I see it was, with a kick forward, he's going for it. And apologies, I cannot exactly see what has happened, but the Peterites definitely offering some good strength here. Fighting spirit. They definitely haven't given up. There's a long time in the game. We are about 10 minutes to half time, and the Peterites are looking to score. They are well within the red area of St. Thomas's College. It looks from here that they may be near the 5-meter line, with St. Peter's having the line out. Another 5 points here could make a big difference to the Peterites. They're a team, no doubt, with great potential, and they're definitely in it to win it. It seems that St. Peter's are going for the tap, looking to put another 5 points on the board. Scissor moved on, taken down hard by the Thomians. But have they scored? Have they scored? Some hard rugby there out in the centre. It's a physical sport here. And naturally there's a lot of rivalry between the two schools. St. Peter's last year were the 7th champions. This year St. Thomas's have been the 7th champions. And last year it was St. Thomas's that broke St. Peter's streak, and St. Peter's would definitely be looking to do the same this time around. And they're coming strong, looking to make a statement. It's getting exciting out there in the middle. Both teams will be bringing on their A game. There's no room for any team to slack off. It's going to be a tight match here. St. Thomas's in the lead, but well within their 22.
St. Peter's deciding what to do.
It's a crucial situation here. It can never be easy out there in the middle.
And it looks as if St. Peter's have opted for the scrum. Attack-minded move in order to get the try that they need to get back into this game.
Indeed, the St. Peter's front row also have been good throughout the tournament. You know, Rahul Delpachitra has been rated among the star players as the number 3. He's definitely someone the Thomians need to look out for. The Thomian captain having some work there.
Well contested scrum. St. Peter's trying to move it forward.
This might be a penalty for turning the scrum.
And yes, the penalty is given to the Thomians. And it takes the pressure off. Now they can clear the ball out of the area.
Indeed, this would be a very crucial kick. They'll be kicking against the breeze. There's been a lot of breeze out here, as it's the school by the sea. We noted even against the match against St. Anthony's that the kicker of St. Anthony's, it was Samuel Madhuanta, who found it rather difficult to kick against the wind. The Thomians coming just beyond their 22.
Line out for St. Peter's College here. Sorry, beg your pardon, it's for the Thomians. Pandula De Silva puts it in, taken well by Senna Nayaka. And Shenal De Silva comes out.
Senal De Silva with a good break there.
Quick rock by the Thomians, picked up by CJ Delisle.
And the Thomians would be definitely looking to capitalize on this opportunity. Charging hard for it.
Lots going on in the middle. What has the referee to say? The referee has given the penalty towards the Peterites.
It seems that the Thomians have been holding on to the ball. And the Peterites with another opportunity here. It's just one penalty that can change the momentum of the entire game, is it not?
Absolutely. Good, strong kick by the Peterites. And they're back into the Thomian half. And they'll be looking to pile on the pressure in these final few minutes. Crucial that the Thomians don't give up a try here, as it's just going into half time, and it'll be taking away the momentum that they've built up in this first half.
Indeed.
Line out for St. Peter's.
Yes, and in fact the Thomians will be under pressure. The Peterites have been within their half for quite a while this in the last 10 minutes.
The Peterites brought down by the Thomians. Out quickly. The big pop forward taking it on. It's going sideways more than forwards. It's finally brought down. Taken quickly. Ball is being fumbled a few times.
Peterites keep it within play. They're working the line.
Numbers on the wide side, and is taken out. Excellent tackle by Ferdinando, it was, I think. And the ball has been taken out for a line out.
Good work by the Thomian fullback there, the number 15 coming in for a hard tackle, taking him right out. And the Thomians now having the advantage of the line out. They need to It was a good tackle made by the fullback. It was Mayon Jayavardhan, if I'm not mistaken. The Thomians would be looking to clear the ball here as soon as possible.
Poor line out there. All taken out. They'll be looking to kick. Not the greatest of kicks, straight in the hands and fumbled by the fullback, and the Thomians can gain much needed ground. And again, that takes all the pressure off. St. Peter's causing their own problems here.
It was a real stroke of luck for the Thomians. It was not the best of kicks, but however, because of the fumble, the Thomians have come all the way to the 50-meter line. The Thomians would be looking to make the most of this opportunity.
Scrum to the Thomians.
It seems that St. Peter's have changed the positions of some of their players. I can see the number 1 jersey here taking the position of the number 8 from the back. DMDVB Disanayaka.
Passes out to Bimbinda Disanayaka to Danuje Vidyarachana.
Good passes there.
Who has
Mayan Jayavardhan passes it on to Naveen.
Sorry. Senali Silva reaches the rock. Passes it out. What is the referee given here? The referee speaking to some of the players here.
Indeed, it has been a tight passage of play. The pressure has been on both the schools. It's only too natural to let a few mistakes happen. But like my colleague said, the referee is having a word with a couple of the players just to make sure it's all good and the game goes on smoothly. Because in the end, we all want a good game.
A game in the right spirit, as it were.
True. And Bhuminder Disanayaka kicks it for a short line out. And the Thomians coming increasingly close to the St. Peter's line. The Peterites will not be the most happiest of players out there now. They were in the Thomian half for a big part of the last 10 minutes, and now the Thomians looking to capitalize. Oh, and St. Peter's pushing hard.
Well defended by the Peterites.
The Peterites not giving any room to the Thomians. The Thomians looking to work the line here.
Oh,
and
well
a break.
taken. Pandula De Silva is brought down. Is Bhuminder Disana, is Ashwant Herat, beg your pardon. Senal De Silva to Bhuminder Disanayaka, who runs at the Peterites and is brought down.
The Thomian forwards looking to make an impact here. Pushing hard. They're very close to the line.
Is Ashwant Herat.
With one arm off, two arm off.
By Ashwant Herat gains much needed ground. Here's CJ Delay. Passes it off to Sachit Jayatillaka.
Sachit Jayatillaka is moving forward. He's very close to the line. Has he scored here? And held up, says the referee. St. Peter's defense coming in strong. Sachit Jayatillaka there with a desperate move, trying to gain some ground. He was very close to the try line.
Unfortunate for the Thomians. So close.
But yet so far. In fact, if you take a look back at 2015, two of the tries scored by St. Thomas College were by the hands of Sachit Jayatillaka. He's a strong man, the number 8, and a brilliant all-round sportsman. He's been the captain of the cricket team, is in the water polo team, and has represented the country in both areas as well, and showing his colours here on the rugby team.
Scrum for the Thomians here. Senal De Silva puts the ball in,
The Thomians pushing hard.
looking to make the most of the line out. Taken out by Sachit Jayatilaka. Passes it off to Senal De Silva, who gives it off to Naveen, who
Naveen
takes it to the
Heenakan
corner.
really close to the line here.
Yes,
And Sachit Jayatilaka, the big man, is moving forward. And he scores. The Thomians were attacking really hard in the last 5 minutes. They were well within the St. Peter's 22 for quite a while. Sachit Jayatilaka almost scored once just below the post as well. And now he has scored towards the corner of the pitch. Some good playing here by the Thomians as the score moves up by another 5 points, and it's 17-10 with the conversion to come. Ashwanta Herath will be taking his time. It's an important one for the Thomians. We're very close to the half-time mark.
It's important for Ashwant to make this conversion. He missed the previous one. We're looking to make amends.
He's taking his time, assessing the angles. It's a crucial kick for the Thomians. He'll be kicking with the wind. It's never easy to judge the angles. And the wind can be so unpredictable.
And he makes the conversion.
That adds another 2 points to the score, and the Thomians move to 19-10. Some good play there from the Thomians, putting on the pressure, looking to extend their streak. They've got a couple of really crucial matches coming up. Sangs and Isipatana, arguably two of the best schools in the tournament, but St. Thomas's, being undefeated, are being really promising. And this brings us to the half-time, and the score stands 19-10. And this is Renal Vikram Ratna,
And this is Anish De Silva.
and we will be signing out, and we'll be joining you back for the second half of the match. Thank you, and good evening.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the St. Thomas College versus St. Peter's College rugby encounter for the Archibald Perera Challenge Trophy. The second half is about to commence, with the halftime scores being 19-10 in favour of St. Thomas College. Archibald Perera of St. Thomas College to kick off. Calmly collected by the Peterite centre, cleared by the fullback and put out for a line out in favour of the Thomians. Pandula De Silva to throw for the Thomians. Good throw collected by Sena Nayaka, and the Thomians looking for the rolling maul. Pushing the Peterite forward pack back. Finally brought down. The referee awards a penalty to St. Thomas College. Kicked straight into the hands of the opposition by St. Thomas's. St. Peter's looking to play themselves out. The referee calls play back. The Peterites kick the ball out of play. Collected by Ashwanta Herath, who looks to drive the Peterite defense. Finally brought down. Sanal De Silva brings it out to to Pandula De Silva. Here's Bhuminder Disanayaka to Danuja Vidyaratna, who holds off a couple of men and is finally brought down. Ball sent out to Tehan Perera. Sanal De Silva again. Here's Bhuminder Disanayaka. Gives it to Pandula De Silva, who holds the ball up. Is finally brought down. The referee has seen an infringement by the Thomians and awards the ball back to St. Peter's College.
So that would be a line out for St. College. Tuning in. St. Thomas College and lead with 19 points to 10. St. Peter scored one try. So St. Thomas College.
The referee has seen an infringement in the line out.
And it seems that it would be a scrum to St. Thomas College. Sanal De Silva just looks around to plan his team. St. Thomas College may look to work the line here. Scrum is contested well by the Peterites.
Sanal De Silva passes the ball out to Bhuminder Disanayaka.
And a loose pass, but knocked on by the Peterites. Indeed, that could have been a good opportunity for the Peterites to capitalize. But however, Some sloppy work over there in the middle, and the Thomians with a close save there. Seems that we may be having a couple of players down as the medical assistants rush over to the field. Indeed, this just goes to show that you can never afford to drop your game even for a minute when it comes to something like rugby. One small break, one small opening is all you need to get 7 points on the board.
Especially the speed at which these players are tackling each other. The ball moves so quickly and you could be caught with a late tackle. It's extremely painful, and we can see that some of these players also suffer from cramps. It's a very intense game. Fatigue does play a part, which is why fitness has been so emphasized by a lot of these teams.
Indeed, fitness is a key priority to most of the players. It's a game of an 80 minutes. There's a lot of running, lots of tackling, lots of falling. It tests one to the absolute limit. And we see that Peterite is currently now having some trouble there. He may be escorted off the field. The referee is signaling to the dugout. And both teams use this time for some important strategizing. It's a crucial time in the game. St. Thomas's have always been known to have a better game in the second half, having come back against schools like Trinity, Royal, and even St. Anthony's having been behind at a certain point of the match. One key area that the Thomians have worked on this year is their fitness, like we were saying. As that may be the difference. It's not just about having some good players, is it?
Absolutely, and with the likes of Navin Henakankarmage, who can be a game changer, he needs to be fit in order to make those dazzling runs he does, especially in those final few minutes.
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, we've seen multiple times about how Navin has kept up his stamina even in the last moments of the game, making those critical lines by the edge of the line. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, and if we compare with the match against Peters last year, it was Navin Henakankarmage who scored a try in the last minutes of the game, sealing the deal for the Thomians. It was a 60-meter run down. There was a good offload by Mayon Jayavardhana that day, and Navin Henakankarmage making the most of it. The Thomians have been looking to attack for most of today, as we can see. You can see their blind side completely open with no defense whatsoever. And them looking to work the line, I'd say. Bhumendra Disanayake with a quick pass to Ashwanta Herath. Sinal De Silva frees the ball, no time.
S.Thomas Perera, the big prop forward, who is brought down. Out again by Sinal De Silva to Bhumendra Disanayake. Quickly
Kankamage gets a break, an offload. However, some sloppy work there by the Thomians, and the Peterites with the ball.
Box.
The Peterites going for an up and under. Ball is up in the air, it's anyone's ball, and the Peterites getting it. Looking to capitalize here, but the Thomians defense coming in their numbers. Going hard. The Peterites will be looking to work the line here. Peterites having the numbers in their advantage. Moving, some good stepping there with the wings. And the pass is made, and now Henakankarmage drags him outside. This should be another line out to the Thomians. An interesting passage of play there. St. Peter's working the line extremely well. The number 14, the number 14 there with a brilliant run. Taken out, however, by the Thomian wing, Navin Henakankarmage. He's known very much for some of his brilliant tries and his offensive playing, but we see how his defense can be equally as sound.
Yes, indeed, and it looks as if the luck has not been on St. Peter's side throughout this game. A great opportunity there for them to score. Unfortunately, the player had gone out of the playing area.
It was the number 14 against the number 14, the wing against the wing.
Substitution for St. Thomas College. It's Deshapriya who has left the field, and Hanun Patirana has been brought on to replace him. quickly to the line out. Messy line out by the Thomians, and St. Peter's have capitalized on this, looking to score a drop goal, but missed the target completely.
Indeed, St. Peter's are seeming to be quite aware in the field. A drop goal is never easy. You need to think on your feet. He saw the opportunity, he went for it. It was a good move, and had he got it through, it would have given St. Peter's some confidence, another string of hope to hold on to, and something to give them the confidence to help them play their game. And at times you never know the importance of these quick, subtle drop goals.
As witnessed in the Trinity game for the Thomians, just how important the drop goal was.
Indeed, it was a time where Sharit Nanayakara got an amazing drop goal. The Thomians were in the lead at that time, and he had a critical drop goal that actually was the decider when it came towards the end, because Trinity also came in with some strong offense towards the latter part of the game, and the decider and the difference was the drop goal by Sharit Nanayakara.
Scrum in the middle of the field for the Thomians. Beg your pardon, for the Peterites.
It's just on the Thomian 22 line. The Peterites having an opportunity here. They need to capitalize. All that work on the field, all the practice, it all boils down to this.
Thomian scrum collapsing there. It's Hangama who slipped.
And Ahangama, indeed, one of the players who had an incredible match against the Eagles, St. Anthony's, giving in some brilliant offloads and some hard tackles, which indeed resulted in the margin of the scorecard, as you saw it, with the Thomians getting 41 points against 11.
Strong scrum by the Taken out quickly. Peterite, number 8, breaking and moved out. Here is their center.
And
the Thomians have won the ball
stolen.
back.
A penalty to the Peterites, and it's a quick tap. They're going for the try. Defense, Sachita Tilaka holds him down. And it's another penalty to St. Peter's College. St. Thomas's nearly need to be careful with what they do here. They're very close to their line. They do not want to be giving off unnecessary points here. St. Peter's putting on the pressure, and the Thomians finding it difficult here.
Decision to be made here, and they're going for the penalty for the kick.
Indeed, it's always a tough decision. What would you do if you were given the opportunity, being out there in the field? I know it's a difficult choice.
Depends on the circumstances. St. Peter's trailing here. They need points on the board. They need something to motivate them to get back into this game, and this kick could be just that.
True enough. In fact, there are times when you're down on the scorecard for quite a while, and it's just one penalty, one change in momentum that can really help your team get over the line. It's mind games in this type of a sport.
And well converted. St. Peter's getting a foothold back to this game. We'll see just how much it affects the confidence of both teams as we enter this final passage of play. The game still hanging in the balance.
And St. Peter's now moving their scoreboard to 13 points to 19. The Thomians are still in the lead, but the spirits of the Peterites are held up high. The crowd has come in their numbers, cheering on both schools. It's an important game for either one. St. Thomas is looking to continue their streak, and the Peterites looking to make a statement. They're both two incredibly good teams. Oh, and St. Peter's with a knock-on at the start. You can never afford to scoff at this point. It's true they've got some points on the board, but they need to keep their A game up at all points.
Absolutely critical that they do not give up any points at this moment of time. Having just gotten back onto the scoreboard, they need to get back into the Thomian half of the field as soon as possible.
And in fact, the Thomians too have been an extremely aggressive side this season, scoring a lot. You generally associate the great Thomian sides of the 90s to be sides with major defense and going on to have quite low scoring games, just 7-0, 3-0, 5-0. But however, this time the Thomians have had a team, a rather all-round team in fact, and have been able to get a fair amount of points on the board. Naveen Henakan Kamnoge coming into this match had 9 tries under his belt, the highest for any boy. Oh, and a knock-on there by the Thomians. And St. Peter's looking to capitalize. They have the numbers. Bad pass indeed.
But fortunately for the Peterites, the ball was knocked on by one of the Thomians, and it's a scrum. St. Peter's have to make sure that they don't fumble the ball in crucial situations.
Indeed, it's not a question of skill. Both teams are incredibly skilled athletes, I must say. It's just a matter of making sure that you avoid the mistakes and you have the right strategies that can take you over the line. And St. Peter's here with a scrum just near the 22. And the Thomians pushing hard. And it seems like the ball has been stolen. The ball is loose, but the Thomians gaining control. However, the referee calls ball back to the Peterites.
He's seen an infringement there in the scrum. It was Sachita Jatilaka there who went out a bit too quickly. The ball wasn't out yet.
And St. Peter's with a kick. They'll be having the line out from just a little beyond the 50-meter mark. We noticed a couple of times earlier in the game they went for the rolling maul, a move that Royal College did quite successfully against the Thomians. It has worked a number of times. It would be interesting to see whether they would go for it again. They're having a substitution there. It looks like one of the props would be going off the field. And St. Peter's working the line, looking for an opening, looking for a chance to break through.
Brought down. Working the line here, trying to make use of their forwards.
And the fresh man on the field, taken out strongly by the Thomian prop. It's V.T. Perera. Indeed, the Thomian forwards having a lot of work to do.
It's important that the Peterites maintain this pressure. They cannot afford to lose the ball.
And they cannot afford more mistakes. Another one try would get them in the lead. 7 points to their total would put them at 20. Just above the Thomians. The Thomians cannot afford to take it easy. They cannot afford to relax in this game. They need to focus. They need to put in their A game here. They're playing in their home ground. And there's always an advantage, isn't there? Playing in your home ground.
Absolutely. And it's the first time the Thomians have been playing here. It's been a lapse of 3 years, if I remember correctly. That means are back on their big club grounds. A picturesque venue and an apt location for a fixture of this importance.
Indeed, and the players having a question with the try. It seems to go to St. Thomas College.
Quick tap taken by Sachita Jatilaka. It's brought down. Here's Hanun Pathirana quickly to the ball. Driving run.
He's the replacement brought in for the second half. Showing a lot of strength, a lot of fighting spirit there.
Here's Tehan Perera, the number 1. Sanal De Silva, Bhuminder Disanaka. Here's Ashwant Tahera, 2 passes off.
And the Thomians pushing hard, holding the player up. The Peters.
But the referee seen an infringement there. I think the Thomian forward was not letting go of the ball. It was a penalty to St. Peter's College.
It's never easy out there, I guess, as a referee. We've got to be through all 80 minutes of the play. We've got to watch the game at every single minute. There's nothing that can go wrong. It's a thankless job it is. One small mistake and easily there's a lot of fault. Lots of fingers pointed. It seems to have been doing a great job today.
Referee remaining calm in crucial situations. I beg your pardon, it was a knock-on by the Thomians, and which is why there is the scrum collapses.
And Peter's having a penalty. They'd be looking to
make ground because they need to get into the Thomian half. You'd think they'd be going for a kick here.
Be looking to cover the meters with the boot.
Indeed they do. It's a decent enough kick, which gets them back into the Thomian half.
Indeed, the kicker putting his whole heart into it. It seems that the ball has gone all the way up to the rail tracks. St. Peter's will be having the line out. The light has slowly been starting to fade today. We've had a bit of rain towards the start. But however, afterwards we've had clear skies. Oh, and St. Thomas is stealing the line out.
Well contested line out. But the referee brings play back. He's seen an infringement there. Unfortunate for the Thomians. Seems to be a well contested line out.
Of course, the Thomians have been continuously applying pressure. You would see at times in the schools level of rugby that teams occasionally do not contest lineouts. However, here the Thomians coming strong, contesting all the lineouts, working hard, keeping the pressure.
It's always a risk because when you do contest the lineout, you can be caught to that rolling maul, which Royal did so well in that game against the Thomians. St. Peter's would have looked to that.
Indeed, the St. Peter's would have done their homework. At this day and age of the game, there's a lot of analysing that goes on. There's a lot of studying of players. And when you hear the lights of people like Naveen Henakankanambi, naturally you'd find most of the players marking him. But also with people like Sachitra Tilaka, who's had a good tournament. And St. Peter's looking on the blind side. Brought down hard by the Thomians. They've got numbers on the line. They might be looking to work it. Moving. St. Peter's with a chance here. St. Peter's with a chance.
On the wide, but chooses not to pass. Poor decision. He had numbers on the wide side.
Oh, some poor play. Rumindra Disanayaka taking the knock. It's a very good move. It's a safe decision. The Thomian defense was in slight disarray. Here's a time to regroup. Indeed, a good tackle made there by Sharitna Akara. Stop the move. It may have been an easy try for St. Peter's College. Of course, you could argue that the player should have passed the ball on. He was on his side.
Absolutely. But you never come off. You don't remember that the fact that he had numbers on the side, but in this situation, it did not happen for him. And again, all the momentum taken out from the Peterites.
The Peterites have been playing quite well, and it was finally an opportunity they had. They were really looking to capitalize. Had the pass been made, you're probably looking at St. Peter's, maybe even going into the lead.
But as we mentioned before, the luck just seems to have deserted the Peterites in these crucial situations. Here's Brumindra Disanayaka. Not the greatest of kicks. Again, slight fumble by the Peterite fullback. And again, sloppy pass.
Referee calls a knock forward by the Peterites. And the Thomians making good ground there. Not the best of kicks, but however, it did work quite well. As we noticed once before also in the match, one of the points that the Thomians have capitalized most is with the small mistakes that the Peterites have made.
Absolutely, they've been exploiting these mistakes, and they've the most of them. St. Peter's, could almost say, causing their own downfall with all these mistakes and fumbles. Say it's the nerves that have gotten to them, especially in this occasion.
And I need to mention there's been another replacement there. The scrum half, Senal, has been taken in, and Dion Dias has been put forward to the centre. Dion Dias, no stranger of representing college at the highest levels, is the captain of the football team. He's played rugby for college the last couple of years. He was instrumental in the victory against Wesley College in the year 2015, back when the team was down. And indeed, he's a vital asset to the team. And the Thomian forwards pushing hard, moving forward, looking for a chance, but the ball is loose. St. Peter is looking to capitalise. Ball is dropped, and the Thomians again with a chance. Naveen Hinakan Kanmage there, brought down hard by the Peterites. The ball is being worked. Bhumendra Sanayaka there with a kick, but it seems to have got knocked on by the Peterites. And so that would be a scrum to St. Thomas's College.
Again, the Peterites had a good chance to break another fumble of the ball, and it seems as though the nerves have really gotten to them. They are still trailing, but a score now will give them the opportunity to get back in the lead, but they just don't seem to be taking these chances when they get them.
Quite true, I must say. And in the Thomians here, if they score, it would be really difficult for the Peterites to come back again. They've already got a lead of 6. Adding another 7 to their tally would really give them opportunity. And it's a penalty to St. Thomas's College. The crowd's really supporting scores. It seemed like Dion Dias wanted to go for a quick tap. However, he was stopped by his teammates.
The Thomians probably thinking that this kick would take the game out of St. Peter's reach.
Indeed, another 3 points being added to the tally would take the Thomians to 22, putting them 9 points ahead of the Peterites, which means that even a try, along with the conversion, will keep them still behind in the game. So this is an important penalty for the Thomians, as Ashwanta Hera takes his time. The crowd in silence as they watch to see the result. This can be a deciding move. A clean kick by Ashwanta Herat right at the center of the post. Brilliant move by the Thomians there. This takes the score to 22-13. The Thomians in the lead. St. Peter's were really feeling the pressure of the game right now. They've not got a lot of time more, and they need to score at least twice. There's a lot of work in their hands, and the Thomians have always proved to be really aggressive in the second half of play. As the men here coming back into the game a couple of times against Schools. Oh,
Poor kick there by the Peterites.
and the Thomian captain there doing some good work in collecting the ball. Being passed to the big prop VT Perera. Going out to Sachit Zilaka, who's running hard. Takes 3 people to get the man down. Ball being worked out.
Here's CJ Delisle gaining some good ground for Thomians.
Indeed, one of the upcoming players of the school. Had a brilliant tournament so far. Oh, and a wonderful kick by the Thomians. My apologies, the referee calls it back. As the ball was not out full, the referee calls it back for the original penalty to the Thomians. They're right around the 50-meter mark. Bhumendra Sanayaka, ball in hand. The Thomians have always been very aggressive They'll be looking to score. Oh, and a brilliant kick by Bhumendra Disanayaka. Cheered on by the crowd. Indeed, this puts the Thomians in a very good position to score again.
Thomians constantly in St. Peter's half, and Peterites have to get the ball out, have to gain some ground and get into the Thomian half, because if they don't, this game looks to be out of reach.
And the Thomians will be looking to try their best to capitalize on this movement. The captain with the throw-in. Dion Dash taken down hard. St. Peter's contesting the ruck. And the Thomians looking to work the line. Sharit Nanyakara there, if I'm not mistaken. Looking to make his move. Brought down hard by the Peterites. Oh, and the big prop looking to make his way through the line. Charging forward. It's been a long game for the man. He's never short of energy. Bhumendra Disanayaka, they are taken down hard. And Dion Dias looking to make his way through. It's a pass to Naveen Hinakan-Kanamage. Brought down quickly by the Peterites. Clearly they did not want to give him any room whatsoever. They know what a critical player he is. They know what how dangerous. Indeed. Oh, and a good tackle by the Peterites. Really putting the pressure on the Thomians.
On the topic of Hinakan-Kanamage, we can see that in this game, the Peterites have had a game plan for him, and he hasn't been much of a factor. But the Thomian team has so many stars that everybody's come to life.
Indeed, a team is never just one player. It's always a collection of players. It's a collection of skills. And one player cannot win you a match. There may be an individual performance, but for a team like the Thomians, who have been unbeaten so far, indeed it has been some great all-round playing. From the captain, who's in the front row as the hooker, to the two props, to Sachit Jayathilaka, the number 8, to Bhumendra Disanayaka, and various people who had wonderful tournaments so far. Wayne Mack in the second row as well, who had a brilliant game against St. Anthony's. Oh, and a long pass taken away by the Thomians. Good offload to Naveen Hinakan-Kanamage, and it seems like they have scored. However, the referee calls the line out. It seems that St. Peter have pulled him out of the line just before the pass was made to Naveen. Good defensive play there by St. Peter's College. It was a time that they would have been able to score for sure. No doubt. They had the numbers.
St. Peter's hanging on as the Thomians look to pile on the pressure and put this game out of reach.
Indeed, St. Peter's showing some good sportsmanship, not giving up even towards the end of the day. Thomians would be looking to contest this line out. They have won a couple of line outs before. St. Peter's taking it clean. Oh, and St. Peter's looking to push out the Thomians. The Thomians offering good support. Clearance made up and under. Oh, now Hinakan-Kanamage there with a brilliant catch. Side steps one, side steps two. Brilliant offload there. Pass down, line is being worked.
Tanuja Vijayaratna carries the ball.
He makes a break.
Brilliant ground.
The Thomians looking very dangerous in the last 5 minutes of the play. And a penalty has been awarded. Thomians, a quick tap taken. The Thomians are looking to get another 5 points on the board. And Dundas making it through, and it looks like it's a try for St. Thomas College. And it is. Dundas, the replacement, the scrum half, helping the Thomians in the line yet again, showing his colours. Some nice moves by the small man. It's been a brilliant play for the side over the last 2 years. His kicking has been phenomenal, and now we see him squeeze through the small gaps and putting another 5 points on the board for the Thomians. The Thomians now well in control of this match.
We can see that the Thomians applying suffocating pressure on the Peterites, just camping in their half, piling it on, and finally they've made the breakthrough, and it looks like it's going to take a miracle for the Peterites to get back into this one.
In fact, you can see in the last 5 minutes or so of play, the Thomians were consistently in the Peterite half. You saw the Peterites also making lots of mistakes, a couple of fumbles, a couple of penalties, and this is how it turns out.
Absolutely. Again, the Peterites not taking their chances when they've got them. And it's been one of the major factors in their play today as the Thomians look to put this game out of reach with Archibald Perera. An important kick.
St. Peter's did look quite good in the first half, but when it's a game like rugby, it's all about consistency. Consistency is the key. It's not about a good passage of 10 minutes of play, especially when you're dealing with a school as good as St. Thomas College. You need a good 80 minutes of play if you want to come close. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, one half of good play does not get you over the line.
Absolutely. Herat makes that conversion. And St. Peter starting it off extremely well, looked confident, looked as if they were going to score as they did last week against Royal, but failed to capitalize when it really mattered.
And the Peterites with a very small kick there to start off the play. Collected by the Thomian captain. However, there has been a knock-on and the player is down, and maybe a small injury there. It's a long game, it's a tough, grueling game. It absorbs a lot out of the players. It seems like there may be a little bit of cramps and small things affecting them, but I'm sure he'll be up in no time. It was Archibald Perera over there. He's had a good match so far. Made some important runs, some good offloads, and some brilliant tackles.
For me, it was Sachit Jatilaka, who's probably the man of the match. Made some brilliant runs in the Peterite half.
Indeed, we saw even against St. Anthony's. Oh, and the number 7 here with a chance.
CJ Delight carrying the ball well.
CJ Delight is showing a lot of promise this match. Oh, and the captain there passing it on to the number 5. Brought down by 3 Peterites there. Peterites putting the pressure. Sent back again to the big number 8, Sachit Jatilaka, who passes it on to his captain. Archibald Perera up there with the ball. Pass it on to Bhumin Disanayaka. St. Peter's not contesting the ruck. Oh, and
Tanuja Vijayaratne again gaining ground.
Oh, and there seems to be a card. It's a yellow card to the Peterite. He pushed off the scrum half Dion Dias from that ruck.
Could see the frustration shown by the Peterites. Poor decision making. They are needless yellow card, and if Dion Dias is in any distress,
it's a shame to say this from the scores. Of course, you do understand that it's an extremely competitive game. Thomians have just scored, increased their lead, brought it to 29 points to 13. St. Peter's looking down in the game. However, the Thomian players still not getting up. Let's hope there are no injuries. The Thomians would need a full side going into the next 2 games, having 2 very crucial teams, Isipatana and Science College. The Thomians have shown a lot of promise. They have showed that they can do it, but you would definitely expect them to have a full 15 players on board.
Absolutely. 2 massive games, one at the Science Grounds next week, and again back here at the Big Club Grounds for the final game against Isipatana. The Thomians will hope that Dion Dias, who's played a huge part towards the latter stages of this game, will be alright going into these last 2 games.
Player being escorted off the field. Pardon me, he stays on amidst much cheers from the crowd. That was Danuja over there. He's had a few good runs today. He's made his way through the St. Peter's defense. He's looked strong. He's looked aggressive. The Thomians with a clean line out here.
Looking for the rolling ball. Grabbed onto by Dias. Clattered in to by the Peterite there. Bit of argy-bargy going on there.
The game is getting rather intense here. Spectators cheering on both scores. It has to be difficult out there in the middle. Players will be tiring. A lot of frustration, a lot of nerves, a lot to prove. It's the last year for a fair amount of people. And to some, they're coming to the team as freshers. They need to prove themselves. So there's a lot of nerves out there in the field.
Can see the frustration by the Peterites. They just want to get out of their own half.
Thomians have been putting on the pressure in the second half of the match, consistently being well within the Peters half. And now as we see,
Peters looking to take the quick tap.
and
Poor kick there by the Peterites, and this could be another nail in the coffin, and it is so. The Thomians have put this game out of reach with the third try.
capitalizing once again on the mistake of the Peterites. The Thomians have scored again, taking their points up by another 5. Score moves on to 34-14. The Thomians had a wonderful game in the second half. Scored yet again. As we mentioned, a lot of mistakes by the Peterites, and the Thomians have capitalized every single time, used every opportunity, and this is indeed one of the great traits of a marvelous team, an all-round team. Mistakes, tries, sweat, number 3 there. The big number 3 there making a good move, Rahul Delpachitra. His brother captained the side a few years back, and he's here once again. He's a brilliant player. Has been a point.
A big cloud coming over the grounds now.
And indeed there's some rain coming again on the field. It makes it tougher for both players. The ball is slippery. You can be expecting no mistakes. And also, another important factor would be the light.
Absolutely. Difficult to see the ball. And that's that. The referee whistles for the end of play. The Thomians have won this game.
And the Thomians continuing their streak with the scoreboard standing at 36 points to 13. The Thomians were well ahead of most of the game and have finished it off in style. St. Peter's put on a good fight, but it's as it is with the Thomians winning the game. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us here. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us as the Thomians retain the Archibald Perera Trophy for the second year. And this is Renal Vikramaratna along with my colleague Anish De Silva signing out on behalf of the media unit of St. Thomas College. Thank you all for watching, and we hope to join you in the days to come. Good evening.